Bienvenidos a otro segmento del programa de Humberto Lozano Lopez y sus invitados. Mi nombre es Santos Leal.
And my name's Ellie.
Estamos aquí en Frank's Spaghetti House.
And we're going to taste some delicious food and tell you how it goes in there. We're going to have an interview with the owner of the station, Carlos Lopez.
And also special guest is Noe Lerma from Tejano Roots Hall of Fame Museum en la ciudad de Alice, Texas.
So come in and join us.
Ok, muy buenas tardes. Aquí los encontramos una vez más aquí en el show de Humberto Lozano López y sus invitados. Here, the host and co-host, Ellie.
Well, today we're going to be giving you a little bit of the history of Tejano music and about the show that I'm going to allow Carlos to tell you the name of the show, where the name of the show originated, why they started the show, and what it represents.
Well, Ellie,
Nice
to meet you for the first time, and of course my brother, Santos. Thank you for the opportunity for inviting me on the show. This is
your show.
We
invited you on your own show.
Okay, that's right. You know, this is my father started this idea of this program back in the day. He was the original voice of the Domingo Peña show back in the day, back in the 50s and 60s. For many, many years, for about 20, 30 years, his voice was, el programa Domingo Peña. I mean, we grew.
Say it the way it said.
We grew up listening to that. And when we started KTMB, none of us really had a television show. We was more like we were half UPN. We were part Tejano music videos, and now we started with the concept of just having the continuous music videos. And my father started his program about, I would say, Santos, about 10 years ago, maybe?
10.
About 10 years ago. My father was very ill when he started the television show. He had done television prior with Univision, back when it was La Cadena Cine in San Antonio, Texas. He was like maybe the first Don Francisco.
Oh, yeah?
And he had a
What was his
show.
vision when he started this show?
On this one, this
Yes.
current show, I think his idea was to keep it simple, to educate people as much as possible about our culture, about the richness of our music, and who we were. And he didn't really have too much of a format, other than maybe he would sit down and, he used to have some big dark glasses, like with the older folks, with all due respect, the people who are listening to us, the older folks wear. And I said, Dad, you're on TV, man. You're cool. I mean, you own this TV station. You need to wear like cool glasses, And Santos went and got on some cool glasses. I don't know from where, but he ended up starting wearing these glasses. I'll never forget that image of him on TV, and he had these like what do they call those, pilot glasses, I guess, or something, right? And I don't know where you found them, but they were actually very cool.
Then he wanted to buy one every week.
A new one.
and he would sit and and I think there was therapeutic for him, since he was going through a journey of his last part of his life, and he looked forward to his show, and it was a way for him to make a connection with the public and remember our music as well, and honor our music as well.
Santos, what do you remember about the beginning of the show and Humberto?
He was always yelling at me, always. But when he started the show, and then I remember one afternoon we were doing the show, and he told me, remember, I said, if you're on the board, you got control. And if they start talking or they go this and that, you can cut it off and you can do, play a video or whatever. Well, they started to show him and Johnny Canales, and they started talking and then joking around. And they just kept on going and going and going. Till I says, I was just scratching my fingernails on the wall. And then I said, and Nora Canales, Johnny's wife, was behind me. She come over here and patted me and says, relax. I says, I can't. I says, and then your dad had that big old microphone.
Right.
The big one.
The big boom mic.
He wanted to carry that big one, And then all of a sudden I look at the TV, and then he was like this with a microphone down here. I said, my God, 40 years and 50 years in radio. Pick up your phone. So I decided to just take it off
and go with
the
the
video.
Luis Miguel video. So, boom, cut him off. And then I guess he saw the TV, the monitor,
It's the monitor.
where it was off. Boy, I never did hear the end of that.
Why'd you
I
cut me
said,
off?
you told me that if you just, chit chat, you run in the board, you take him off, and I did. Since that day on, I don't think he went back on TV. Because I remember that one. But he would write me good on it.
Yeah, his whole idea of like like Santos was reminiscing a few minutes ago. I think he really used that as therapy for him. He was a true broadcaster that did, broadcasting and celebrated over 50 years of radio and worked for one of the first Spanish stations in the country, KCOR in San Antonio. And other televisions in La Cadena Scene as well, which is Channel 41 in San Antonio, is the birthplace of Univision. It was the first Spanish-speaking television station in the nation.
Wow.
And this was being beamed all over the United States, and the network was born there as well. So he was right in the midst of all of this. And this show that he started here in our station was a way for him to stay connected, be involved, be able to promote. And even later on, when he brought in Johnny, that was even significant as well. Johnny at that time had no longer had his affiliation with Telemundo.
Give people a little bit of history about who Johnny is, so that if they don't know, this is something new. We're going way in the beginning.
Yeah,
Johnny
Canales was raised in Robstown. I believe he was born in Mexico, but he was raised in Robstown, and his family's basically from the South Texas area. Rose in the national, ranks of being a national television star, promoting all kinds of different musics, genres, and rancheras, Mexicanos, Tejano, a little bit of everybody. Helped a lot of musicians become who they are
today.
And different philosophies come in, network executives that perhaps are real young that maybe didn't understand the culture or don't understand the majority of this Hispanic culture in this country that makes up almost 80 or 90% of Mexican descent. And you have some executive up in Florida maybe that doesn't understand our culture, making decisions that will eventually impact it. Unfortunately, that's how it impacted him in a negative way, and he was pulled off the air. But he was able to make his mark in Univision. He was able to make his mark in Telemundo. And when he was here with us, I think my father, not because he was getting sicker, but because he wanted to help Johnny. He wanted to keep his spirits up.
He was a good-hearted person.
Yeah, because he loved them. He loved Johnny, and he loved Norma,
And
Nora as well.
I know that name. I just don't know the person, but I know Johnny Canales. I mean,
it's absolutely. It's if you know music, that's synonymous with Johnny. It's all connected. And my father gave him that opportunity, and maybe Johnny didn't need it or want it or what have you, but it was inside my father's heart. And maybe Johnny doesn't even know this, and maybe he's watching and we'll see and we'll know that this was why my father brought him in. And he moved himself, he phased himself out of the television show. And Johnny and Nora ended up being part of the show. And they kept on for quite a while while Johnny kind of got his feet back on the ground and started doing what he needed to do. And now I believe he's back. He's on Ustream. He's also broadcasting on several affiliates around the state of Texas. And maybe God will open another door for him. And, my father believed in him and loved him. And he showed it to him by giving him this opportunity. Santos, after Johnny left, Santos and Mr.
I got baptized myself. Because I got in there, nobody was here. And it was 30 minutes past the hour. I says, I got to get in there.
Yeah.
So I went
you
in
wanted
there.
to keep it alive.
Yeah. And that's one thing I want to...
What was your relationship with Humberto?
He was like my dad, my brother. He was everything, and I loved him to death. But we were ups and downs. I rode with him day in and day out. There were times where we didn't have 1 cent with us. We would buy a taco and a Coke, and we split it. That's how close we were.
Yeah, when I started the show right now, and I said my brother, I do mean my brother. I love Santos. I love him for everything he did for my father. The stories go on and on. I am indebted to him to the rest of my life. He gave his heart, he gave his soul, he gave his mind, everything for my father. And I love him like a brother, and I publicly say it as well, my family as well, and we're indebted for him because the stories are endless when my father would have fallen down or he couldn't eat anymore. I don't want to go because then I'm going to get too emotional.
Well, people need to know the
But-
history. They need to know how you
but-
feel because it's
he
part of
fed-
who this
but
what
he
this
fed
show's
'em.
about.
He fed them. He took care of them. You know, and that's hard. That's very hard.
But for
But
me-
it was a beautiful gesture of human kindness, and when God touches somebody and tells them, and Santos never really asked for anything in return. He was built that way. And he's an amazing blessing. He has his path to go to heaven already.
Yes.
He's going straight. He's
I've heard
an
some
amazing
amazing
man.
things about Santos.
Amazing man, and I love him dearly.
But on that category there, to me, I learned what I've learned on radio and TV was because of him. He was my mentor. He was my, like I say, he was my father. He was everything to me, and I learned quite a bit, and I'm still learning.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, that's true.
And
Absolutely.
and this is going to be my mentor. So everybody knows I'm very new to Tejano, and I'm coming into this with a lot of enthusiasm, and I want to learn about it, and I want to help everybody else
Absolutely.
learn through me and Santos about what Tejano is about and what the show is about. What do you foresee the future of the show? Where do you see it going? And
Well,
and talk about San Antonio too. And
Absolutely. You know, I want to thank as well Santos and Mr. Herman Mejias as well, because they continued my dad's tradition as well. They hosted the show several years together, and Santos continued, and now he brought you along as well, and the enthusiasm, and you basically have walked into what the philosophy of my father was. And what was that philosophy? Okay, there's not much money here for us, but we're going to give you an opportunity. If you want to learn about television, you want to learn about radio, you want to do what we love to do, you can keep your professional life. That's wonderful because that's where your bread and butter's at. But this is a blessing for you. This is satisfying to you, and this will open many doors for you. This is why he built these things, give people an opportunity to be on the air, to experience what he loved as well. And if you do, you get involved and you start doing the show, you're doing it because you truly love La Música Tejana. You love our culture, and I can see you're radiating the light of wanting to be involved in the music industry. And
I want to learn about Tejano. I've
and
heard
the
of,
history.
when I told people I was going to do this, I got a lot of, skepticism that when I talked to Noe about, Tejano's dead. Why are you going to do that? But it's not dead. It's still up and coming, and I see a lot of new Tejano singers coming up, and I see Tejano singers that have been singing that are coming out with new albums, and it's a very rich culture, and it's family oriented, and when you hear a song you want to drink and you're not your family, and it's something that I love being Latina and being around the Latino culture, so that's why I'm excited about this. And yes, right now we're it's a learning experience for us, and I'm a real estate broker. That's my job.
Yes.
Where I make my bread and butter, but to me this is an educational experience. So if I was going to a university to learn how to be in this field, I would have to pay. Well, you guys are giving me the opportunity to be on TV
Absolutely.
and learn through you guys, and hopefully we can build this station up where we all, are doing something.
Absolutely.
And we can't all work for free.
we
We all got to help build the station up together.
Absolutely.
We're doing it together.
I spoke to Jimmy Gonzalez because he just released his new album, Forever Mas. And in the conversation, I was talking to him about his career and his life and who inspired him. His mom, his dad had such an integral part in his life. His mom bought him his first guitar. She would wait in the car for 3 hours, and while he was performing, and she was telling the teachers, he knows how to write songs and he knows how to sing, and he would be, Mom, don't be telling him that, and it was an amazing story. And that's what you do. You start peeling away what makes that person, not just what you see when you buy the album, but truly find what's inside their hearts and what motivates them. This business to us has never been motivated by money. I'm going to tell, and I've said it time and time again. My father and I's philosophy was never to be rich in doing what we do. We want to serve our public. If God will bless us with accounts and will
When you
allow
do
us to
things
pay our
you
bills,
enjoy,
I
God
do it.
blesses you with the amount of money that you need to pay your bills.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
if you enjoy what you're doing,
That's right.
money's not a bad thing.
That's right. No, it's not.
It's not a bad thing as long as you're doing it because you enjoy doing it.
Absolutely.
And no, if it comes, it comes.
It
If it
comes,
doesn't,
that's
it
right,
doesn't.
that's
But
right.
you know, you're doing it
Because
you
you're doing
enjoy
it, you're doing it, and I think that was my dad's philosophy, and that's what Jimmy was selling on the radio. He goes, I did this, I didn't know, I used to play like rock and roll music and stuff, but I diversified my music, and here we are, 50 albums later, you know, and 7 Grammys, unbelievable. Can you imagine? And there's a new group of singers that are coming. You know, you have the new Signal, you know, that are very popular. You got conjunto bands that are amazing as well. And you have a good mix of everybody. And there's a history of Valerio Longoria. You live in San Antonio, right? Go to your airport. Go to your airport and look around right there in one of the terminals. There it is, Valerio Longoria. Why? Because San Antonio knows how to honor their people. They know how to honor their culture. And they have a beautiful plaque of him and his picture, right, Santos? And it says, Valerio Longoria, la historia de Valerio Longoria, and the impact that he left behind. And there's so many bands in San Antonio and here in Corpus as well who have and Corpus, for some reason or other, when it comes to Tejano music, has had a huge impact in the whole state. Let me tell you why. Hacienda Records, Freddie Records, Q Productions, all of these companies have had a major impact. Gary Hobbs, Emilio, La Tropa F, Mas, Roberto Pulido, anybody that you can imagine in Tejano music has recorded in Corpus Christi. These recording companies have made a lot of music throughout the years that people sing and dance to every day. Yes. And so Corpus Christi has been, if not one of, I know San Antonio is the capital of Tejano music, but I know Corpus Christi is the one that's making the music.
Making the music for us. But San Antonio is actually a bigger city as well.
Of course.
So of course it's going to have more people
Of course.
listening to the
And then
music.
it's a little bit better organized, and the audience and the loyalty to conjunto music in San Antonio is amazing.
So where do you foresee the show going? And where do you see Tejano music going?
I think you know, earlier you make reference to the fact that maybe it's others has said that maybe it's a dying breed. I don't think so. I think it will always be, you know, part of our culture. If you like fajitas, tacos, beer, familia, then you're gonna love conjunto music at the Big Red. There's gonna be always Tejano music, just like there will always be country music. It goes in cycles, and maybe right now we're spinning. You know, we're going around the orbit at this point, and the sun will hit us again one day. You know, but it did at one time in the '90s. We reached, I think, the epitome of Tejano music, because you have Mas, you have Selena. They were outselling Luis Miguel, Alejandro Fernandez, anybody that you can imagine, Los Tigres del Norte, all the Mexican regional music as well. At one time, Kakukuka in Houston was one of the top Tejano music, and in Dallas, Kick, Tejano 107, Magic here, the Valley had 2 or 3 stations. They were all over the place, but our music, the ownership of the way the Telecommunication Act of 1996 affected stations where they were sold out, and stations were changed to more regional music. Well, of course, Houston is going to be dying for some Tejano music. Yes. Where's our culture? You go to Dallas, there's no more Tejano music there, but the audience is there.
What do you think
the audience is there
to build that Tejano music back up? And who do you see as some of the upcoming new artists that are coming out in Tejano that we need to watch out for?
I think there, you know, I think in the horizon there's many more that we don't know about at this point.
And how do we get these people, you know, exposure so people can see that they're here?
I think if we have the continuation of companies like Freddie Records that have like Signo, Sólido, Intocable, all of these, you know, Intocable might be to another brand, but these guys are not going to die right now. They're going to continue. You know, it's just amazing. I was telling Jimmy, and I was telling him, there's a song, Prieta Linda. Prieta Linda, and the guy introduces the song. Joe Lopez introduced the song, 1974. And if you listen to that song, and I started calculating in my head, okay, 1974, 84, 94, 2004, 2000. That song is 40 years old, and it still sounds like they made it yesterday. Because they make great quality music. There's a lot of new bands that are coming. They're going to continue, and there will be another new Selena, there will be another new Mas, And just give it time. The new generations is looking at something different. And, I don't know what radio and internet and everything's going to play, but it's going to change the landscape.
Yes.
And there'll be an outlet for them to
internet
promote.
radio is the future. So do you see yourself extending to the internet?
Absolutely, I think so. I think terrestrial stations will always have an impact because it's considered free as well. But I think the internet will also play a role. You would be a fool not to think that the internet will not play a role. With the power of social media being what it is with Facebook, Twitter, and all these other ones, you got to move with the times.
Yes.
Santos and I can attest to the fact that when we started in 1989, we played records, Ellie.
Yeah.
We played records, okay? And then we played big 8-tracks, and we played cassettes, and then from the CD, and my father, I remember, we used to have a bunch of records, and he came in with Santos one day, took all the record players down. We're like, no, you can't take them away. He goes, you got to go with the CD, that's the future. Am I right?
How many CDs did we have? We had about maybe 5 to start off.
Yeah, we didn't have many, so here we were, they would get stuck, and now with computers, and it's just amazing. So, absolutely.
Now with your list on your iPhone.
And your iPhone, and you name it, it's there, and it's just the creativity of continuing, and and hopefully we'll see these artists come about. When I see stars like Signo and Solido, Intocable, and Michael Salgado, and other ones that are still, even younger ones that are upcoming as well, there's hope, and they're going to continue. And the conjunto, you name it, and Banda, they're amazing. Jay Perez is an amazing artist in San Antonio. I mean, there's just a lot of talent out there.
And in this segment, I want both you and Santos to tell me what is your vision for the future of the station, where would you like to go, and what would you like to offer the community? Staying with the original idea of your father, but advancing into the new.
Well, we've had an ongoing project for many years, Ellie and Santos, that we started, and Santos is privy to this as well. Many years ago, I was able to go to Denver, where there was a headquarters of TCI back in the day, and I was able to convince them about putting TMV, the Tejano Music Video Network, on the national cable system. And when I was done with the meeting, I think I had maybe $38 or $100 in my pocket. Again, it's not the money.
It's the vision.
Remember, it's the vision.
The passion.
It's the vision and the passion, because I barely had money to fly over there. But you can't beat, like Rudy T said, the coach of the champions. You can never underestimate the heart of a champion. That's what my father had. He had a heart of a champion. He passed it on to all of us, and all of us now have it that are involved with our station. And when I convinced them. I convinced TCI that yes, so they gave me a national contract. After that, it was sold to AT&T. AT&T said, okay, so we continued our negotiations with them. After that, it went to a major sale, and Time Warner and Comcast were vying for it. Comcast ended up getting it. Comcast consequently became the biggest cable company in the nation. And about 4 years ago, I went to Philadelphia, and I had a long conversation with the folks of their beautiful ivory tower of theirs, and told them, you guys bought the satellite, you bought the plants, and you bought me, and I'm not leaving. So you're going to have to put me on one day, they said, and they didn't want to really, and I said, I come from a small community. You may not think that that we can compare Corpus Christi to Philadelphia, but I assure you one thing, 2 of the most powerful civil liberty organizations were born in my town. LULAC and American GI Forum. And I tell you, one of the, you think Selena was, you think Jennifer Lopez was amazing. Do you know why Jennifer Lopez rose the way she rose? Because she portrayed somebody from my community in Selena. Why did people love her? Because she reflects the makeup of this country, which makes 80% of us of Mexican descent. Why is George Lopez so famous? Because people can relate to him. The majority of them are Mexican-American descent. So the story goes on and on and on. After long negotiations, they said to me, after they didn't want to put me on, they said, what do you think about Houston? I said, I love Houston. Let's try Houston. So we're hoping in 2014 that we will start our first test in Houston with TMB for Tejano Music Videos. In the event that they like it and it works, the rest of the nation. So you want to see if Tejano music will die or continue? That might
Keep
be
your eyes on 2014.
that might be the key. If it works in Houston, and I believe it will, because there's a lot of Tejanos that love Tejano music, and we keep their culture, mix it up with a little bit of the regional Mexican as well. I think it's going to work.
Yeah.
So only God knows. He led me to that path, and I believe he's going to make us succeed.
Well, thank you, Carlos and Santos.
Thank you.
We're going to end this.
And thank you, Carla. I know you're a busy man, but...
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for inviting me.
Ok, pues gracias una vez más aquí en el show de Humberto Lozano López y sus invitados. Yo soy Santos Leal.
Y yo soy Eli.
Okay, we're now at Frank's Spaghetti House en el show de Humberto Lozano López y sus invitados. En esta tarde, aquí les vamos a presentar a Eli.
We're here with Michael, and Michael's going to give us a little bit of information about Frank's Spaghetti House and their signature meals and how long they've been here, and information on their phone number and address and all
Okay.
that. So.
Well, I'll give you a little history first off. The restaurant was started by a gentleman named Frank Toros, and he was Italian. He started right after the war in 1947, got out of the service, and decided to open a restaurant here. He ran it until about 1980. My mother took over, bought the restaurant from him. He retired, but he still visited us at least every year for his birthday, which was the first part of May. Always seemed to end up on Buck Day Parade. But he taught us all the recipes and helped just come in once in a while to make sure we were still doing things right, because his name's on the building and on the business. I took over in '92 from my mother, who retired, and it's been, and I hope someday to turn it over to my kids. We're at 2724 Leopard, been in the same building. The building was built in 1921, just after a big hurricane took Corpus out to the bay. They built it pretty much bulletproof, hurricane-proof at least, because it's been through quite a few hurricanes since then. Let's hope it never has to go through another one. But we have signature dishes, of course, spaghetti. Everybody knows that from the name, Frank's Spaghetti House.
Yes.
But one of our favorites, we probably sell more lasagna than we do spaghetti, or equal amount. But the chicken parmesan is what I measure every other Italian restaurant by, and we do it right. We have several parmesan dishes. Veal and eggplant are also on that list. Our Alfredo sauce is second to none.
Okay.
So those are all things that people need to check out.
Well, I'll probably be checking out your chicken parmesan. What are the hours here at your restaurant?
We have kind of unusual hours. We do lunch Monday through Friday, 11 to 2. We do dinner Monday through Saturday, 5 to 9. We're closed on Sunday. That's our family day. Get to spend time with my wonderful grandchildren.
Now, let me ask you on the traditional, the specialty is your spaghetti. But you were saying that you also, the lasagna is your second.
Right. Yeah.
Which is your third main
Probably
dish?
chicken parmesan.
Chicken parmesan.
Yeah, we sell a lot of that.
What can you tell me about the garlic bread? 'Cause I love that
It's
garlic bread.
addictive. I'm telling you, it's addictive.
You
Once
eat one and that's it,
yeah,
yeah.
You can't help but eat garlic bread with Italian. You got to have something to suck up all that sauce.
Sauce, there you go.
Yeah, and you just can't have Italian.
Okay, on the-
without that.
And
on
they
the
have
sauce.
wine too.
Yes.
On the sauce, y'all make it from scratch?
Yes,
or-
it's made from scratch.
Scratch,
We make
okay.
about a 25-gallon batch every couple days. Actually, the sauce is on the stove right now, but it
Okay.
won't be served until tomorrow. 'Cause it's got to
Tomorrow.
age.
Age, right.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Okay, but that's not the only thing you have on the menu. You also
No, no.
sell pizza.
Yeah, we have pizza. We have pizza on the dinner menu, but if somebody wants it at lunch, we'll do
do
it.
it.
We're easy.
What is
We're
this?
aimed to please.
What is the pizza bread?
Pizza bread is a French loaf cut in half and then topped with garlic butter, mozzarella cheese, and then other toppings, pepperoni, or whatever you like.
Whatever you want to
Mm-hmm.
build it to your desire.
We can do that. Like I said, we can do anything. If I've got it, we can cook it.
And that's here at Frank's Spaghetti House.
Frank's Spaghetti House, 2724 Leopard.
And what is the number they would call if they wanted to make a reservation here?
361, of course, 882-0075, and you can make a reservation with anybody you talk to.
Okay, that sounds great. We're going to be ordering some food right now and then letting the people know how great the food is here. And we thank you for being, talking with us today.
Thank
And I
you.
want to thank you
Thank you
for
both.
letting us be part of.
Thank you
of
for
the
coming
show.
Your
over for
family,
lunch.
part of your
And then-
family.
That's right,
And
that's
we hope to
right.
be here, many years to come with your children.
And God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Una vez más, bienvenidos aquí al show de Humberto Lozano Lopez y sus invitados. I'm Santos Leal.
I'm Ellie.
And then we're fixing to
Try out some
Try out
Frank Spaghetti House meals. Some of their signature meals.
here's a specialty, which is spaghetti and meat sauce.
Frank, what do you got?
I think it's the same way. Meatballs. And,
Meatballs.
But you have the meatballs on there.
Yeah.
This is their famous French bread, and they say it's really good. It beats everybody, so let's try it out. This is delicious.
Pass it to me while she's digesting that. I ordered a chicken with mushrooms with white wine and a little bit of garlic spaghetti. Lemon butter.
And my dish is a shrimp parmesan, and I have some Merlot wine to go with it. So we'll let you know just in a few if we really like this. It looks delicious.
It looks great.
Let's enjoy.
Let's enjoy.
Bon appetit.
Here on location was Frank's Spaghetti House and the show of El Show de Humberto Lozano and sus Invitados. I'm with Santo Leal, who's been part of the show for many, many years, and today we're going back to talk about Tejano history and more.
Okay, thank you, Ellie. Today we have Noe Lerma from Tejano Roots Hall of Fame Museum in Alice, Texas, and he's going to be talking with us during the show to bring us a little bit more information on Tejano music. Noe, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Santos. Thank you, Ellie, for having me. It's a pleasure being here with you guys. What is it that you want to know about my organization?
Well, I'm new to Tejano, so I want to go back to the beginning of time and learn about the history and where it started at and what important artists came out of Corpus in Tejano.
Okay.
And I want Santos to also help with this question because Santos has been in Tejano business for many years as well. So that's what I would like to know.
Okay, a little bit about the history of Tejano music. The settlers, that came from Germany and French, the French and the Italians and everybody that came to explore the world, right, and which was what we're living now in the United States, right? They came as settlers and they brought accordions, they brought certain instruments that stayed for years here. And through the years, the Tejanos that were living here, they created something new in the Tejano music, right? They liked the way the Europeans played the accordion, so they were very interested in the instrument. Pero ellos le pegaron un poquito con la guitarra and then the bajo sexto, and that's the real start of the Tejano music, right? Now in this new era, we have a lot of the Tejano artists that have continued the heritage of the Tejano music, and there's bands, galore all over, not only in the state of Texas, but throughout the United States that have taken Tejano music to a very high level. I hear a lot that people say, well, Tejano music is dead. And I challenge anybody that hears Tejano music, if you go to like San Antonio, when I was telling you earlier, Ali, you can see it there at the fanfare. You have thousands of people and those events that go out there for the 3 days. And Tejano music is not dead. You go to the valley, you come to Corpus, to the clubs over here, go to the clubs in the valley, the Rio Grande Valley, and Tejano music is all over the place. And we are very proud. We're very proud of our heritage, and we're going to continue doing it until maybe we pass and our children keep on listening to it. I encourage my children. I wish that other parents would encourage their children to keep on listening to Tejano music so that it will never die.
Mm-hmm. Well, who are the godfathers of Tejano music?
The godfathers of Tejano music, well, Chelo Silvas was one of the
Female.
female artists that really brought el accordion and the saxophone and the accordion back. Beto Villa had an orchestra así como Lawrence Wells, y él siguió la tradición tejana. So there's a lot of pioneers out there, a lot of pioneers como Isidro Lopez, Narciso Martinez, Tone de la Rosa, and all of those musicians. And I'm talking about way back then that influenced other musicians that are brand new right now to follow their steps. We have a lot of legends como Freddy Martinez, Ángel Flores. We have Isidro Lopez aquí que era de Corpus. Some of these musicians have gone, right, have passed away, but we're still their music hasn't gone forgotten. We still listen to their music. So we're trying to keep nomás que siga la música tejana, a tradition.
When I joined the show last week, one of the followers was a daughter. She had said that the Humberto show has been a transition in her family. They've been watching it for several years. I mean, forever. It's a Sunday show that they watch, and it's a Tejano program. What do you think about that, Santo?
Well, when we first started, it was just going to be a 1 hour show, and then we ended up making it a 2 hour show. But I've been hosting it for about 1.5 years now, and I've enjoyed every moment. Before, I was behind the camera, not behind the camera, I was running the board and the sound and everything. But I had Johnny Canales and Nora Canales doing the show, hosting it. When Humberto had it, then he got ill, and so he knew Johnny, and Johnny told him, I said, well, let me get the program. And so we took off from there, and every week we just did it live there in the studio.
How is the program was able to keep Tejano alive? And I know later on in the program we're going to have the one of the sons come in and talk about the program and the history of the program. But how has this program benefited the community and Corpus, keeping Tejano alive?
Well, a lot of the music that we brought in was from different parts of the state of Texas. We had groups from Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, and not only just Tejano, we had a little bit of everything. Had conjunto, we had rap, we had Cinco Doce out of Austin that came also. So we had a little bit of country, you know, and we had Jorge Moreno with us, and it was just a different. We didn't just concentrate on just Tejano. We've had also from mariachi music also. So we've had a little bit of both worlds.
You're able to mix it up.
Mix it up a bit.
How has this show been help in the Tejano community? And
well, it still helps show the people that we're still out there with Tejano music, and still encouraging the youngsters to listen, to turn on the TV and say, look, man, this is what our dads hear, and maybe they'll come in and like the music. They'll see the show once in a while or whatever, and we don't want to lose that. I have been in the organization for Tejano Roots going on 5 years, and I mean, I've seen a lot of talent out there that come every year and go on our induction ceremonies. We're there to preserve the heritage of Tejano music, and we have inducted through the years a lot of talent, a lot of Tejano musicians are out there. We have different categories in the Tejano Roots Hall of Fame Museum, and it's amazing as to look at the musicians that come through our museum every year.
This is where we're going to be next week in Alex, Texas, right? The museum.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay. You have an upcoming event. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Okay, we're going to have our induction ceremony. It's actually not this year, but it's going to be on 2014, the first week of January, which I believe is on the third Friday, the third and fourth Saturday. And we're going to have our induction kickoff dance on Friday, and then we're going to have our induction ceremony on Saturday. So we invite everybody to come. You know, it's an amazing event.
And it seems that every year it's getting bigger and bigger.
I mean, it's not a luxury place. You know, we don't have the facilities that we should have. You know, but we make the best that we can. We don't have the national sponsorship that we have, but we work all year around to get funds so that we can nominate this artist and remember them as the talent that they have.
That's awesome. Well, we know in San Antonio they're having the Tejano Music Awards. Who do you think that people need to keep their eyes open for in future Tejano music?
Well, Ellie, I couldn't tell you that because, oh my God, there is so much talent out there. San Antonio itself has a lot of bands. Sonny and Jay Perez and Emilio, and you know, I mean, the list can go on and on. So I don't want to put anybody say, well, these are the best bands. No.
Well, who do you want us to keep an eye on for future upcoming bands? You have to have your eye on somebody.
Oh my God, Ellie, that's a hard question to answer. That's a hard question to answer.
We're not taking favoritism, but who have you? I know there's a lot of bands out there, but who have you had an eye on so that people can see that there's a lot of upcoming new Tejano bands to keep their eyes on, as well as the ones that were in the past, so people see that it's still alive. There's still families of families that are producing music. What people should we keep our eyes on?
Well, I normally like to keep my eye on Emilio Navaira. I know that he's done some downfalls, but he's always seems to come back up.
Okay.
Another artist favorite of me is David Lee Garza, Los Musicales. Oh my God. And those would be my favorite ones, speaking, right?
Yeah.
But no offense to the other ones, because I mean, everybody has.
I've been hearing a few of them.
Everybody does have great music.
Santos, I want to put you on the spot. Who do you think that is up and coming? Because I know you get a lot of inboxes of different Tejano artists that want to get into this and build up their image.
One of them is like Monico Cortez. He's out of Houston. He's a newcomer to Tejano. Well, he used to play with his dad, or his dad had his own group, and now he kind of retired and he just let Monico take over. So he's already got a CD out. There's Isaiah Burriaga. He's from your hometown, Detroit, and he's coming up in Tejano music. There's Tejano Calvary, El Grupo Daños, San Antonio. There's a bunch of new groups, Tejanos, that are coming out that people need to listen to. I know internet radio is playing a lot of these groups that they need to listen to.
And we'll hopefully be bringing a few of those groups onto the show. So that you guys can see some of the upcoming groups that are coming to Tejano Field. What do you see the future of Tejano music, so that people know what to watch out for? What is the future? What's new in Tejano? What's upcoming? What do people need to watch out for in Tejano music?
Okay, we got some good new talent coming out, like Signo and oh man, there's Ratoño, and there's
but some of these guys are real, young.
They're young
eager to
the
Tejano music. That they, here's 15, 16, El Grupo J.R. Elegido out of Carson City, Texas.
Right.
I think the oldest is 19 or 20. The youngest is 15. But they're talented.
The Tejano musicians keep popping out, man. They're young kids that are wanting to come and learn. Yeah.
How long have you been in Tejano music?
I've been with the organization going on 5 years.
But in Tejano itself, just knowing about Tejano and
Oh my God! Since I started going to the dances. I'm not gonna lie. When I was 8 or 9 years old, I mean, with Tona La Rosa and Ciro Lopez back in Kingsville when I was living when I was that age. I would get my parents were going to the dances, and man, I would cry. Hey, take me! I want to go to the dances. I love to hear the music back then, and that's the reason that I'm in the organization, because of the love of Tejano music.
when you hear the Tejano music and you're out with your family and all that, what does it bring to you? What do you feel?
Oh my God! It fills my heart with joy. That's what it does. I mean, without Tejano music, I couldn't even live, because I enjoy it with the family. I enjoy it with friends. It makes me happy. I have maybe a few beers with it too, and enjoy it, right? But
I'm having a little wine right now.
but I mean, that's the reason that I'm in the organization. También the Tejano Roots mostly because of the love that I have for Tejano music. You know what? This organization that I'm in started by Javier Villanueva in Dallas, Texas. He opened the museum out there. It was in May of 1999.
Okay.
And Governor Bill Perry passed into law Bill 1019, officially naming Tejano Music Museum of Dallas as the official Hall of Fame museum.
That is wonderful.
No other organization
Have they ever
That is
fulfilled that?
wonderful.
has fulfilled that accomplishment that Javier Villanueva, the founder of the Tejano Roots Hall of Fame Museum, did.
Okay.
So we,
But since 1999, it was just getting started,
it was getting
and
started.
then now
Right,
it's
right,
grown.
right.
What can you mention some of the things that are on display there at the
Okay,
museum?
we have a lot of pictures, a lot of musicians donating their guitars, their saxophones, or their clothing that they wore for the performance, music, different kind of things. So it'd be good for you guys
Well,
to
we're
come
gonna
out there.
we're gonna
We'll
be
be
there
there. I mean,
next week to
like
look
I
at the
said,
museum
we're
and take a.
small.
Okay.
It's not a very big museum, but we're proud of it. We're very proud of it.
Sometimes small, in the small thing comes beautiful stuff, so it doesn't matter if it's small. What matters is what's inside of it and the culture that it represents. So we're excited about coming to Alice, Texas. Santos, I mean, how long have you been in the Tejano business, and what have you learned, and what does the Tejano music bring to you when you
Radio and
listen to
TV,
it?
I've been at it this year, in August the 19th. I celebrated 37 years.
37 years. Wow, that's awesome.
And then I got inducted to the Tejano Hall of Fame in 2011, broadcaster.
So when you listen to the Tejano music, what does it bring to you? What do you feel when you listen to the music?
I feel like jamming with it, because I'm a drummer, and I do a lot. I can listen to music. When I first started in Tejano music, I did Tejano, I did country, and I did classical and jazz. So I learned all the aspects of music, and I enjoyed all of them.
And what do you see the future of Tejano music going?
Since I've been at it, it goes like in a circle. It comes and goes, comes and goes. Now, before it's just the accordion, the bajo sexto, the keyboard, and then the horns. I would say the horns has left the Tejano scene, which I don't think so. Because there you go, you have David Lee, you got Ruben Ramos, you got Jay Pills, you got brass. There's Aviso out of Houston, Powerhouse. They're all with horn section.
Horn section.
So Little Joe's still around.
Little Joe, Sonny,
Sonny.
Jimmy Edwards,
Jimmy Edwards.
all of those big legends from way back
Way
then
back.
are still around, and they're still making the sound, and people love them. People love them.
And of course, San Antonio's the cream of the crop there.
Yeah.
And I'm from San Antonio. So, and next week we will be in Alice, Texas, and we'll be visiting the museum and getting to know a little bit more about the things that they have there and the guitars and all that, and talk about the museum. So stay tuned and watch us. 2 Sundays from now we'll be in Alice, Texas.
Ok, pues muchas gracias una vez más, Noe, por estar aquí con nosotros. And of course, Eli, aquí en el show de Humberto Lozano López y sus invitados. So los vemos el próximo miércoles en Alice, Texas, at the Tejano Hall of Fame Museum.